Hey guys, what's up? I'm here to give you guys my recap on the new chapter or episode of RWBY Volume 8, which is on number 7, chapter or episode 7 if anything. Now, I will tell you this right now, I got an announcement reminder to give you, not to mention, sorry for this being a little bit late than usual, because I've been trying to rewatch each scene and then trying to put it in a way that might be appropriate to you. Though at the same time, it might be difficult to get an idea of unless you watch the episode chapter yourself. So yeah, forgive me. Anyways, like I said, I got an announcement reminder to give you. So if anything else, let's just get this started right here, right now. We had the Ironwood's army shows up onto the battlefield where the Whale Grim is at, and a lot of Grim is coming, and Ironwood's soldiers to mechanized battle suits along with ships and all that, etc. Ready to destroy, to apprehend the Grim. But unfortunately, the forces seems to be on par with each other. But it looks like to me one of the Mammoth Grims or Elephant Grims finally broke through and started to cause some major damage. But it looks like to me it's still to be okay. But unfortunately for them, for Atlas and everyone else, they are unable to stop the flying Grim from entering Atlas City. By that time, Ironwood decides to issue an evacuation order to everyone in the subway right now, And we see to it, of course, as the episode chapter continues on, Ironwood has a new idea of a plan how to possibly destroy the Whale Grim, We have to it that Winter gives contact to Ironwood. They apprehended Yang, Jean, and Ren, the fugitives, and he says, "Okay, I'll give you standby for other orders until other stuff." He therefore gives an idea to Winter that the scientists are putting together a bomb that'll be enough to blow up the Whale Grim. But we need the Whale Grim to get inside a little bit further. After we drop it off closer to the target, we will have you guys get the bomb, put it inside on foot, and then destroy it. And then we see a scene switch with Hazel having to torture Oscar, while Emerald somehow found a way to sneak into the torture room, but overhears it instead. We see to it that Hazel, on the other hand, says, "I can make this easy for you. Tell us how this works and tell the truth." We have to it that Osmond decides to tell Hazel everything and ask him, "Why do you follow Salem?" Hazel explained that he tried to kill Salem more times than he could count, and as many times as he can't lift his arms anymore. The longest that Salem has been gone is a few hours. She puts herself back together and she just comes back every time I killed her. That's the reason why I gave up and followed her, because she can't be killed. And we share a vision where there'll be no Huntsman Academies and no kingdoms. And we see to it that Osmond tells Hazel, "You don't understand. Once she gets all 4 relics, there is no world. She'll destroy it. That much I can tell you," etc. And we see to it, of course, as the episode chapter continues on, we see to it that Hazel seems to be annoyed with Ozpin, and ends up punching him, etc., and still trying to torture information out of him, etc., etc., etc. Then we get to see a scene with Weiss tending to Nora, and we see Ruby and Blake trying to figure out what to do next, We see to it that May ends up coming in and asks Ruby, Blake, and Weiss to come along and help the people of Manta that's in the crater because of what's going on. We have to it that Weiss refuses and asks her, "Don't you have family here you care about?" And we have to it that May actually belonged to a family, but because she cared for Mantle, they needed her. She decided to leave, and that she is pretty much thrown away. Her full name is May Marigold or Gold or something. All I know is her last name ended with something that's called Gold, okay? So, all she is she says something about that I wasn't their son, so I made sure about that, etc. So the way how she explained her story, that how she was left out of the family, it looked like to me she possibly might have been a boy at first, but I don't know. The way how it was explained, it's kind of confusing. All I know is after she left to go help Mantle, she was pretty much thrown away, okay, whatever, you're nothing. We'll be counting on your son or your brother, which I forgot his name, but all I know is he's the one that's supposed to be an heir to some kind of company. But that aside, we see to it that that they're trying to May argues greatly, saying that, look, people of Mantle need our help. They got an army, they can handle it. And RWBY's like, there is no side on this, you know? When May asked him, like, hey, what side are you on? And this is a funny question because it's ironic, you know? Because this is the same thing like when Elm asked Team RWBY before they fought them last volume that, that asked her, like, who exactly are you loyal to, you know? That kind of thing. But we see too that RWBY, like I said, tries to stop him, saying that we gotta find a way to help. We gotta find a way to help everybody. And then we go to a scene switch again with like Ozpin telling Hazel about of Salem, you know, about what happened. Like, so long as you walk this earth, so long as this earth rotates, you shall walk its face. You know, that kind of thing. What I'm really shocked about is that they didn't realize about one thing, is that if you remember correctly, the God of Light did tell Salem, like, you must learn the importance of life and death. Only then may you rest. That is the most important detail that I think Ozpin might have forgotten or left out. But he was given a reminder of it in Volume 6. We all know that. I don't know why he left that detail out. Maybe because Salem is beyond the scope of reasoning or talk at all. Maybe she just wants to like end everything so she could be free. Now let's be honest. I think all of us knew or found out or realized that Salem's end goal is to die. She's been living for so long, you know, she's been tormented by this thing. She's tormented by this curse. She just wants to die. I think we believe, or most of the community of the RWBY community believes that is pretty much the end game goal for Salem, no matter what. Because, yeah, that's why she doesn't really care if Cinder gets the maiden powers, because either way, everyone's going to die. Okay, that aside, let's continue the recap. We had to it that Hazel says, you know, nice story, but if I knew about my sister's little death, it's to never trust you after what happened. We had to that Oscar switches with Ozpin and asks him, let me handle this, but Ozpin just seemed worried, but Oscar says, let me handle this, trust me on this. And we see to it that Oscar finally decides to tell Hazel the password, like, her name is Jin. You want her to come out, you say her name. She can answer one more question, and it's done. And we have to it that Hazel gets enraged and grabs Oscar by the neck and says, after all this time, you're just going to give Salem the password or something? And the way I look at Hazel, he seems to be understanding, and he doesn't seem to be that psychopathic. I guess he just wants to continue beating Oscar or Ozpin for his own self, you know? But that aside, Oscar says, no, I am giving it to you. If you want to find out the truth, you are more than welcome to. Find out yourself. I'm giving it to you. I'm not giving it to Salem, you know, that kind of thing. Although, and it looks like to me, Hazel seems to have some human inside him, going to shock, realizing that what Oscar just said to him, you know? It's like he seems to be calming down and he doesn't seem to say anything. And by that time, Emerald, on the other hand, who overhears this, decides to tell this to Mercury, and Mercury believes that he's just lying, etc., you know? And that he already heard the story from Emerald that Hazel tried to kill Salem more times than he could count, and he was unable to do so. That's why he got in line. So it's impossible, etc., you know? So I understand where Mercury is coming from. And he even says, look, she's not gonna end the world. And Tyrion's like, hello, she really is, okay? Do you not realize that? She is destruction, chaos incarnate. How could you not realize that? If you joined this cause for something else, well, I guess you are really out of your head, or your mind is really out of proportion right now, okay? Pretty pathetic the way I understand it. So this confirms Tyrion's theory, etc., and Mercury believing that the world's not going to be destroyed. But unfortunately, Tyrion says, unfortunately for you, it's going to happen, okay? Therefore, he takes Mercury Black. Tyrion takes Mercury Black to the desert, which apparently, he says, we have a date with the desert, which apparently is Vacuole. I don't know how secure Vacuole is, but the last time I remember reading some information about Vacuole, it's not a really easy place to get into. And it looks like to me there's always a lot of illegal stuff around, so I don't know. I think that's just me, if I remember correctly, about reading some information here and there. So I don't know how easy it will be for Tyrion and Mercury, but all I know is like it's not gonna be simple. All I know is like Mercury and Emerald can only stare at each other, and Mercury can only just nod and just get ready for the next mission. We go to another scene switch where Jean and Yang along with Ren realizes that they're gonna blow up the Whale Grim with Oscar in it. They try to convince Winter that let us do it. We could save him before you could do the bomb thing. And I can see where they're coming from. There's no denying that. But unfortunately, they seem to be felled on deaf ears until Ren intervenes. And we have to it that Elm and everyone else says, look, we got to do our jobs. We can't let personal feelings get in the way, otherwise it'll just ruin everything. And I can see where they're coming from. As a soldier to an army or something, when you're fighting against an enemy, no matter how bad the situation is, you gotta shut out your feelings. And when it comes to reality in our armies of soldier, man, I don't know that too much, but if I were to understand reality of it, I mean, like, you either save a friend, soldier, or leave him to die or something. I don't know. But all I know is like they try to convince Yang and then Ren and Jean that you guys giving your lives for one is pretty stupid. And we have to it that Ren says, no, it is not. Oscar is our friend. We actually care about him and will be willing to risk all out for him. Harriet seems to have had some respect for Ren because he was level-headed and have an understanding mind. But it looks like to me he just sees him as a naive kid. We have to it that Ren argues, and by that time, I don't know if it's Ren's semblance or something, but all I know is he actually looks at Harriet and realizes after what Harriet says, you if you see someone die, you replace them. Just like she mentioned someone of a comrade or teammate that used to be part of a team, but you know, possibly she was KIA, killed in action, or MIA. I don't know. But all I know is like Harriet mentions like how you just replace people once they're gone. But we have to that Ren's like, Oscar's not replaceable. It's not that freaking easy. By that time, he ends up reading Harriet somehow, you know? When Ren would, I don't know if it's Ren's semblance, but when he looks at Harriet, he really realizes like, you don't really think that. You're really upset about Clover's death. And we have to it, Ren ends up looking at Meryl, and then he ends up looking at Elm and Vine, realizing that they are really upset about this, and they don't believe this at all. And Ren looks at himself thinking the same thing, and that he doesn't, and that you guys are not happy about this at all. In fact, you don't even want this to do that. You don't even want to do this at all. We had to that Elm gets really upset about this and tries to like attack him. Even when Ren mentions this as well, he says that's the reason why you lost to Team RWBY, because you guys argued and you wouldn't be able to do it. So it is true. It is 100% true and confirmed. A lot of people may say that Team RWBY had more experience here and there, etc., because like they were trained and they went through a lot of hellish times. Like for example, Ruby, Yang, Blake went through hellish times from volumes 3 to like up to present time right now. But with Ren's semblance, like I said, his semblance is actually reading Harriet and the rest of the Ace operatives that's with them right now, that they were holding back. They didn't want to go all out. And if that is true, I guess it's already confirmed as well that if the Ace Ops really wanted to go all out, they would have like easily subdued Team RWBY easily, no problem. And I'm pretty sure when it came to the fight between Team RWBY and the Ace Ops, it was a big argument. There's no denying that. I'm pretty sure there was a big nasty argument through criticism and all of that, saying like, oh, Team RWBY won because they're main characters or something. But it's now confirmed, possibly confirmed, or just confirmed right now by Ren that they actually held back the entire time and didn't want to work as a team so they don't have to defeat Team RWBY because they had personal feelings in the way. There's no denying that. And it was kind of hinted at for a while now. They wanted to subdue them and lock them up instead of just fighting against them or possibly hurt them beyond healing, you know, etc. Elm seems to be enraged about Ren's words, you know, and tries to punch him. But Winter, on the other hand, even though she is ordered not to let Ren, Jean, and Yang go, she decides to give him one chance. We'll drop you off as close to the front lines for you to try to save Oscar. But if you guys don't get out in time, I'm telling you right now, we're throwing the bomb in, and we're destroying that Master Grim. You got it? And we have to it that they understand the situation. And Ren decides to tell Winter, I know you're not happy about this either. And he told this to Meryl that he doesn't want to be. And Ren tells Meryl that I know you don't want to be part of this at all. I could tell. And even Ren tells that to Winter when he ends up looking at all the colors of the petals that was surrounding Winter. But it looks like to me she seems composed. But yeah, we go to another scene while Ren and John and Yang decide to do their best to save Oscar from the Whale Grim. They're gonna do whatever they can. Then we get to see a scene switch with May having to talk to Ruby and Weiss and gets ready to leave and gives him a choice to either go with me or you stay here. Choose right now. And we have to it, of course, that someone ends up knocking the door, and we see to it that it was Klein, that Weiss was so happy and ends up happy to see him, and she apologizes about what happened to the situation, but Klein says, no, it's not your fault. It's your father's fault. That's pretty much the issue around here. And we have to it that Whitley was the one that called Klein, and Klein therefore tries to deny something that he tells Weiss that, like, I called him for the girl that needed a doctor. As for you, I didn't do it for you. And when Weiss is like, I know, which is why it means a lot to me. And she even hugs freaking Whitley, and I guess, like, I don't know if it's either this is a nice step to be a better relationship between brother or sister, but I guess it's a nice step for now. Whitley, we all know the guy was a spoiled brat when he was introduced in Volume 3, and then seeing him back in Volume 7 and now Volume 8, he seems to be changing. He seemed to change a little bit. Well, not too much in Volume 7, but it looks like to me in Volume 8 and throughout this action, whether he denies it or not, whether he did it for his sister or just for the girl, he's starting to care for other people, at least, for the time being. I don't know if it's either to get the attention of Weiss or just to maybe do something good in his life that he's not been doing good at all, you know? And then all of a sudden they hear a giant explosion, and we see to it that Ruby, Blake, and Weiss ends up looking at the crater and realize it was Penny, and Penny can only stare at Ruby, Blake, and Weiss and apologizes, and then falls to the floor, you know, etc. And that's about it. And then, yeah, that really sucks. So yeah, okay. All I could tell you is that Ironwood's army ends up facing against the Grim, while Hazel tortures Ozpin and Oscar. It tries to get the information, and Ozpin and Oscar decide to tell the real truth about this and tells Hazel, like, if you want to find out the truth, her name is Jin, go ahead. You got one more question to go. That's all. And we have to it that as the episode continues on, you know, we get to know about Hazel, that he tried to kill Salem, and then, you know, there's a scene with Weiss, Ruby, Blake, and May trying to figure out the situation, what to do. And, you know, Mercury ends up saying Salem's not going to destroy the world, but Tyrion said, no, you're wrong. She is going to destroy the world, you know? That's her. She's chaos destruction incarnate. And Tyrion tells Mercury, come on, let's go. We got a date in Vacuole, or the desert, which is obviously Vacuole. And we have to it that Yang, John, and Ren try to convince the Aesop's and Winter, let them give him a chance to go save Oscar. Although, and after Ren ends up looking at the petals or something about a semblance being a little better than before, realizing Harriet, Elm, Vine, and Meryl actually held back against Team RWBY. You guys lost because you had your personal feelings and you didn't decide to work as a team, so you wouldn't win against them, you know, that kind of thing. So, yeah, like I said, that scene alone actually possibly, or just confirms it, that Ace Ops did hold back against Team RWBY when they were fighting them. If they really wanted to, they would have worked together as a team and finished the job easily, you know, that kind of thing. You guys get the cue. But after Winter, who reluctantly decides to let them go and give them a chance to save Oscar, she tells Jean, Ren, and Yang that, I'll tell you this, you go, we'll drop you off as far as we can, but if you don't get out of there once the bomb is finished and it gets closer inside, we're gonna blow it up. And therefore Jean understands. And Ren therefore tells Meryl, like I said, you don't want to be part of this at all either, you know, etc. Not to mention, Ren even tells the same thing to Winter. You don't want I know you don't want to be part of this either at all, you know? That kind of thing. And then, you know, like I said, there's a scene with Weiss, Blake, and Ruby and May trying to figure out the situation. Whitley called the doctor in, and then Penny. She is found by Ruby, Blake, and Weiss in front of the house, and she can only say she's sorry, and then she faints. Okay, now to give you guys the announcement reminder. If you guys didn't realize, like many weeks ago, at least 2 weeks ago, on December 4th, there was a Twitter message that after the release of Chapter 7 on December 19th of RWBY Volume 8, they are going on a mid-season break, and they will resume Chapter 8 on February 6, 2021. They even have a link on the Rooster Teeth about someone mentioning it, you know? And if you guys don't believe me, I'll be sure to post a Twitter link down in the description below so you can take a look, and possibly, if I don't get in trouble, I'll post the Rooster Teeth post about, like, they're gonna go on mid-season break until until February 2021, you know? And to be exact, February 6th, 2021. Because the person mentions, like, they've been working ever since, like, March, you know, or something. Ever since, like, the pandemic started, it was pretty hard to, like, working hard from home whatsoever. Whatever the case may be, all I can really tell you is that they've been actually working ever since, like, March, you know. So, yeah. If you don't believe me, I'll post a Twitter link and the Rooster Teeth post in the description below. Hopefully, I don't get in trouble for that, but to let you guys know that there will be a mid-season break until, like, February 6, 2021. That's when they'll be back. So, yeah, the way how it ended off was a not too bad of a cliffhanger, but I guess it's, like, somewhat of a slap for now. But, yeah. Yeah, like I said, sorry for taking so long for trying to figure this out, because this chapter episode of RWBY Volume 8 has been something I've been trying to get an idea how to give it to you guys. So until then, people, I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm Alpha Zero. Have a good day, and I'll see you guys next time, alright? Peace out. Bye-bye. Toot-ta-da!